Okay, we're on a different version of IronRush. It was like a 1.2 or 1.11 or something. If I remember, I'll try and show at the end of the video. We have Mr. Whiskers here in yellow is team 1 versus 3. We have red and teal and Rochelle in green. I did see Fat Tony's name and someone else I recognized. So again, I'll try and find that for you at the end. Okay, yellow. So we're on a very slow game speed here. There's no roads, which is not helping either. Um, Yellow's just dropping a building here, I suspect, or maybe one more. Yep, there we go, barracks. Now he's probably going to move the MCV. There we go. Just to establish a build radius here to begin with before making the long drive down here, where Mr. Whiskers typically likes to play. And I mean, the other team don't even are only just now getting to position and getting their first buildings out. And we see yellow getting some infantry out early to protect against. Pretty sure it's dogs, but there might even be some aggressive Tanyas on this map. So we'll just watch the airdrop fly in and find out what happens here. So they come in under Iron Curtain. Here we go. The dogs and everyone all land under Iron Curtain. Yellow being the closest, I imagine, is going to attract most of the dogs, hence the large numbers. Although one or two dogs managing to get around and do a little bit of damage here. And okay, now done. We're even able to deal some damage to half the infantry there, but that's sorted. Yeah, so I don't know. It must be a map edit on the because I've played around with this a little bit with my own maps that I'm working on, and I've noticed that yeah, the edits to this map are quite extensive, and I'm just reading through that .mpr file, just using Notepad, just to try and get a sense of what properties are available to fool around with. Some of them are really obvious, but others are not, and yeah, it doesn't appear to be much in the way of reference material for that. But yeah, we just saw, the fact that these transports could bring looks like 10 units each, including vehicles, and that transport there just dropped at least 25 infantry, I think. Um, so yeah, it's interesting just how they've managed to do that. We see yellow going north with some engineers and a rocket, so going to try and get established here too. Okay, we're on the version of the map that does have the heli carriers, so you do have a bit of time to get yourself established navy-wise before there's any breakthroughs. So that does make life a little bit interesting if you do like to build huge navies or huge tank armies and have those epic battles. That does help. And if you do want to try and test yourself like yellow here and play like a 1v3, just buys you enough time to be able to build all across the map and have a go at it. Yeah, so blue's already, teal rather, is already here, but is capturing these anyway. Green, Rockets and War Factory, red, ditto. So we're just going to fast forward a few minutes now. Okay, well established. Red, there you go. You can see red. 5 or so war factories, 2 refineries, into some MiGs. Green, three refineries, 5 harvesters, 5 war factories now, lots of rockets. So yeah, tanks coming in huge numbers now. Rockets are out. Yellow's probably not going to have enough time to do air, but you never know. Teal up here, lots of economy, only the 1 war factory, but is into a navy build, as we see. Does have the GPS up, has not built in this secondary pond, but yeah, has been here long enough now. They've broken through the top, now getting some destroyers in numbers. Looks like they've already been over here. Yeah, Green's come over in a transport and scouted. So they know what they're looking for. The naval yard, yeah, green's managed to take out the build radius. Massive numbers of destroyers here. So yellow's lost this navy. Yellow has lost this middle ground. Perhaps I've skipped too far forward. Let's just go back a couple of minutes. A couple of minutes more. Okay, so we were here. Perhaps just... Oh no, he sold it. Okay, I thought he lost it. And then, yeah, we see as we fast forward through... Okay, green's just come through the middle. Been able to scout, been able to take this out up here. Yellow, knowing that 2 buildings is not enough to defend this build radius, so has dropped a few silos as well, but is unable to defend this. So green just takes all of that out while teal engages with the ships at the front. Yellow, torn in several directions, so has a pretty decent economy happening. Is building rockets, tanks, and navy in half decent numbers, but yeah, there's just only so long you can keep that up for. Red, large numbers. See these buildings going down. Perhaps could have controlled these a little bit better, green, just to stay out of range, but has been effective in what they sought out to do. So at the end of the day, you know, that's worked. So we shouldn't be too critical. Yeah, see, green's reacting now, just staying out of range, going to finish this one off, and knows that, yeah, this will only take one volley to complete now. Yeah, so this is where we were watching before, teal coming around the top. So yeah, we see green now just rallying to move through in the middle and getting that scout on. Green coming back, finishing that off. Teal now on the naval yards. Green just using these tanks to help take some pot shots at whatever destroyers they can reach. Yeah, teal broken through top and bottom here now. This is only a matter of time. Yep, green rolling through. Red just content just to park for the moment. Yeah, so yellow, yeah, I mean, considering they're working on 3 or 4 different things at once, managed to get some half decent numbers here. And I mean, look, Team 1 are already through in the north, and we've still got 14 minutes or so to play. So let's just see how it develops without trying to guess. Yellow is unopposed down here for the minute. Is getting, yeah, not actively, but just the destroyers are spawning and taking out these heli carriers or whatever they're called. Just effectively a wall in the ocean that's destroyable given enough patience. Okay, so green is over. Yellow is in here in sufficient numbers to deal with this. Hopefully get some of these just in front enough to slow the move down. So yeah, has caught a couple of them, but green's managed to keep moving. Yellow's slow to react. Perhaps has just decided to send them over there without realizing that green was on their way because it didn't look like much of an engagement. I mean, yellow can see this. Green's back here with the tank. Okay, yellow responding now. May lose a power plant, may lose a refinery, may lose a war factory even. Oh, lost the GPS. So, you know, despite the disadvantage of playing 1v3, this was poor play here from yellow. Yellow's pretty good and usually responds. And that's why I assumed when this push came that that's what they were doing. So, yeah, green there, got a good scout on and took out a couple of really important buildings there. Green's got a few MiGs up now. Got to follow them in. Not tightly grouped, but in a line. Yeah, power plants off target makes sense. There's not going to be an air limit on. Well, at least if there's an air limit on this battle, it's all going to be on the same team. So if you lose a few MiGs, you can kind of just send them in and whatever. You're not too worried. You'll just be able to rebuild them before they would even land. Um, but yellow's not written off yet. Maybe team two's just holding off just to let team one, yellow Whiskers, Mr. Whiskers here get established, just to make it a worthwhile game. Sometimes players, just agree. There's already no rush in this game, but yeah, perhaps they've just agreed a certain amount of time or something. So yeah, yellow pushing forward. It's going to take these buildings out, I'm guessing, to stop any of these players really getting going down here in case they try. Yellow cluster of tanks here, but not really enough to deal with any of this. Green coming in numbers, teal following in behind. Red's here, has not really manoeuvred at all yet this game with those tanks. Has one over here though, unless that's a glitch. That might be a green tank. Although he's trying to get home, so I'm guessing not. V2s now. So yeah, yellow has managed to switch to a cruiser. Got one out at least during the GPS while the GPS existed, but is moving them strategically. It's probably a good play actually. Green is here. These guys, excuse me, will do some damage, but there's enough rockets and tanks around and a pillbox to clean that up. And if cruisers can get established up here before team two pushes across, that does change the complexion of the game a little bit. Although this isn't being controlled again, he's too distracted. If he'd parked the cruiser back here, maybe he could have taken all of this out for free and then moved up. But as it is, he's lost the destroyer for nothing here and may lose these as well. Okay, there we go. He's figured it out. See, the V2s, 2 or 3 V2s is enough. Yep, destroyer gone. Cruiser's got really buffed hit points, but enough V2s will do it. There used to be sort of the meta in the early days when we were playing this map around COVID times. These sort of things didn't really exist, but this was clear, so it was like a race forward, and you would build navy here, and the defense was to build your own navy, but also you just line these banks with V2s all the way along, like 2 or 3 deep, and yeah, so any cruiser that came out wouldn't last long in those sort of conditions unless you got a real head start. But yeah, look, green now pushing over in good numbers before the cruiser can really pin down the middle. Yeah, teal here in massive numbers with navy, couple of cruisers too. Red's got MiGs up. Looks like they dropped on the cruiser there, judging from the smoke. So even with that many MiGs all firing at once, that went from red to a little bit less red. It takes a lot. Lost 1 or 2 more buildings down here, I think. So green's just been able to harass and apply pressure. Yellow sort of having to react left, right, and center. Yeah, green MiGs now coming in from behind. So he's routed them in very effectively to try and dodge the rockets, and looks like he's managed that. Every single MiG dropped their bombs on that target, and he's managed to then get control of them again and fly them out by avoiding the rockets again. So good control there from green. Good airstrike in the rear. Yeah, green and teal just trying to be smart and go around yellow here, I guess, to harass. It may be a better thing, quicker thing here, just to simply engage, because red is behind the eight ball on production, and every tank he loses, he's rebuilding back at slower and slower rates when your team has the production fully developed and not under threat. So see, red a little bit sloppy there. Just got in range of that anti-air cannon, but willing to take the losses. Has taken out the target they were after, which was one of the naval yards. Yeah, perhaps by routing up this way first and then heading in south, they would get around that. But I mean, red can also just deal with this with his ships or tanks. So yeah, there's no real reason for that if you're on top of it. Okay, yeah. So green around the back again was teal. Yellow trying to maneuver has selected a bunch of rockets in this as well. So that means they're not really defending. So there goes another naval yard's gone. So we're still only halfway into the game though. The rockets proving their worth. Lots of extra targets here for the team two tanks to be hitting, and they're quite armored against tanks. I think that was edited in this map, and they're also impossible to run over, which was another edit. So yeah, in a cluster like this, yellow has been able to very effectively deal with green there and not lose too many. We do see they are eventually vulnerable to tank fire, but generally it takes quite a few shots. And every shot they're absorbing, the tanks are not. And so yeah, like I mean, even the hit points you can see there's one or two low, but everything's almost fully healthy. I was trying to say, or full health. Okay, yellow up here with some destroyers now. In decent numbers, they're pretty good against tanks and against the MiGs. But and along here too, they can help defend this area. But yellow having to react here, not on top of it, not being able to bring his tanks over. He does have tanks back here though, so he is reacting now. But now his ships, not many of his ships are down here anymore, so he's going to lose this war factory, a power plant, probably another power plant. So yeah, yellow here, not green rather, not in sufficient numbers to fully land the killing blow, but yeah, for sure is able to take out maybe half of these buildings before running out of momentum on this attack. Has plenty of reinforcements they can be sending over though while this is happening. Teal getting in on the fun with some tanks. Red has not maneuvered at all, has not crossed over one little bit, just content to guard and use their MiGs. Yeah, see, we see now, I think a barracks went down, maybe another power plant. Still firing, but that's probably all she wrote there. That is a green looking tank, but I believe it is. Oh no, it is a heavy tank. So sometimes the sprites paint the wrong color, but that might just be like a dead object that's been left on the screen, which is why they're not firing on it. Teal with some poor pathfinding here, wanted to go around, but ended up going in front, so is straight in range of all of this. But is on it now. Green, yeah, what was that? 6 or 8 MiGs, not enough to do a refinery on this map. 10 or 12, I think, accounting for air defense is what you need. So yellow, not quite out of it yet, but teal fully in here now, although yellow's got the gap up, which they're targeting, but I don't think they're going to get it. So, I mean, they're landing blows, but none of them decisive yet. I don't know if that's intentional or if they're just maybe holding back just to extend the game. So yellow's cleaned this up, still here in decent numbers. Is probably going to have enough time now to just rebuild another war factory maybe. has now started to get their ships established here. So if they're able just to hold on until he can get some cruisers out, so you need the tech center to get the cruisers. Um, you know, maybe that's what's extended this game. I said I wasn't going to make too many predictions, but I guess that's what I would be trying to do if I had this time and space. So you look, yellow now, kind of almost able to establish a defensive line across here that he could just leave there, and probably has enough to plug this gap too. Um, so yeah, I think a gap's just gone up there. He's slow to react to this move though, which yeah, again, not like Whiskers. Whiskers is a fast player and is usually on top of every move. There we go. So even just parking those guys here, and then eventually maybe getting like an entire line established here that would match that one. And yeah, with enough time and gaps in air defense, like it's possible to hold on. Maybe not win, but certainly not lose. Yeah, here we go. Just plugging this gap, brought rockets over. So as I explained before, we can watch how effective this is going to be for him, for yellow, and how painful for green. So even though green has the superior tanks and the superior numbers, I think yellow is going to comfortably hold here. Yellow's not maneuvering at all, apart from just bringing some reinforcements in. But the rockets are still there, still taking out, especially when they hit, if you get a volley of fire and you take a tank down to red, the rockets just clean it up before the next volley. And that really just helps your tanks be efficient and just target on the big targets. Look at this, all done. Yellow's still here in good numbers and hasn't had to sacrifice this line here. Yeah, so it was actually okay. He is just pulling it back a little bit, so maybe just trying to maybe park them in the middle so it can respond either way. But I mean, given the time you've got now, I guess he's got to think about the MiGs too. So maybe the smart move here is to hide under. Well, he could have been there. I was going to say hide under the gaps and air defense. Um, but then again, he's not doing that here either. So Okay, he had a lot of destroyers up here, but I think okay, it looks like the cruisers have been brought forward and have been able to range them, and yeah, so we can see that they're still firing. So it might have been a force fire onto the rocks to walk the fire where they needed it to, and as a result, yeah, that navy has just now completely sunk. Some of these tanks now are also engaging. We saw the MiGs just strike a moment ago. Yeah, so now that navy's gone, um, and red's getting involved now. I'm just realizing, um, yeah, like see, green's got the V2s here. Green could just park a few V2s here, outrange the destroyers, and deal with them. Same down here. Um, okay, red doing the same thing nearly as teal a moment ago. They've decided to go around the back, but they are in range of these, and yellow is just moving them up slowly. So they are going to take a couple of shots. Okay, leaning on the rockets now for this defense. Although green's here with V2s, so they've immediately gone, half of them, which is why, yeah, having a mixture of attack units on this map is so effective, especially when you've got to deal with a mixture of defending units. That old rock paper scissors sort of style really, yeah, being tweaked with the map edits, which I really like. Red air flying in massive numbers, yeah, just streaming over one by one, attacking these destroyers. We got green air heading south now. After that power plant, red just been able to gather enough numbers. V2s here, green's V2s, one V2 that's left, just dealing with some rockets. Green now, moving in. Although we see now, yeah, these guys are sort of crossed in an X, and just watch how that congestion builds as a result. You know, red's all of a sudden now not getting through, and green's not getting through in the way they wanted. So yeah, these numbers in front of the line are going to suffer a lot of shots. Okay, the game's crashed. I'll bring you back. Okay, back to launch back into it, but I'm just showing you this screen. It was Debo, the fourth player. I thought it was, but I just wanted to be sure. So Fat Tony was teal, Debo was red with the unknown players. We are on version 1.10 Shuffle 6. Yeah, so this was just after the one of us worked out the method to have a random team start that's fair in the middle so that yeah, you don't have to fight in the lobby about who's on what team. You can just, everyone goes random. Sometimes it's not balanced, but most of the time it is. Yeah, so the rules are there. It's on Destroy All. So I'll bring you back where we crashed. I believe we were about here. Okay, yeah, so we've just seen the aftermath of that. I was explaining before how green and red got crossed their swords, crossed their streams, which, you know, as Ghostbusters tells us, you shouldn't do. They got a bit congested. Red's managed to get down here, though, although half of his units are still actively trying to get where they're getting. Teal has come in behind. You can see the streams of flights of 4 or 5 each now of MiGs just coming out one by one. You know, not maneuvering, not navigating, not trying to dodge fire, just trying to get rid of these destroyers. Teal now swarmed through in massive numbers of light tanks. Really annoying to target, so yellow's just going to have to hit guard. The more teal keeps them moving with Q move, the less they're going to die. He has paused there, and immediately that force evaporated. But well and truly now, ripping through. They might get this gap, which will then allow red air. No, maybe. No, just managed to hold on. So yeah, red air has not been able to just strike as freely as perhaps they'd like because of those gaps. Yellow is still holding on. Still got the remnants of that line retreated to here, and now just holding the majority of his force right in his base just to fight until the end. The MiGs have been working on those naval yards, so there's no more naval yards anymore. Green getting positioned above yellow here. Teal, you can see on the mini map, bringing reinforcements over. Flights of MiGs now, all taking off. Let's watch, because they do look cool when they do their thing. Just the delay in between each one's just the time red's taking just to scroll across the map, target, scroll back, and then select another flight, another row of his airfields to take off. So some of them managed to work because they weren't moving. The ones that were looked like they held on. Green is taking out another building there. Yellow, don't know, might have just scared, might have been just suffering from the V2, so might have just pushed forward there briefly. As we see the supply or the demo trucks, they must be supply trucks because they're not exploding. Some edits of this map do have that unit enabled, so that can be fun. Red just sitting there. You can see these tanks. You can tell that they're not kind of guarding or they haven't stopped because this one you can see the twitch there in the turret, and all of these ones are still strung out in a big line with all of their turrets all pointing at the same location, which is where he would have targeted on the map. So if yellow did engage here, only these tanks down here would be firing back, the ones that aren't pointed in the same direction and not that one. So yeah, don't know if that gets taken advantage of yet. Yellow's just come to meet this threat, managed to wipe through quite a bit of green here. I know Devo and Fat Tony and Rochelle are pretty good players. I've played with them and seen them play, so I don't know. I do suspect there's been a gentleman's agreement here at some point, as we see all of the MiGs now all coming in at once. That AA got taken care of. That I think was. Oh, okay, it's just trying to. So yeah, somehow I think under air attack they move because it is sort of like a controllable naval ship in a way. I think it was just I don't know if it was in an aftermath campaign or if it's just an afterthought. So I don't I never really played much aftermath as a kid, so I don't really remember the lore behind these objects here. But yeah, so teal now coming again with more tanks. Each time they're coming in, they don't seem to be engaging directly with yellow's vehicles. They're intentionally bypassing. Perhaps that's part of the agreement. So I'll just watch these airstrikes again. There we go. It moves around. Green as well, just taking out power plants. Teal in quite decent numbers, enough numbers to threaten this MCV, but content just to swarm around at the moment. Although the longer he leaves it, the more he's going to lose. To the point now, I think almost too late to go for the MCV. Doesn't seem interested anyways. Go after the refinery there. Green now pushing in around the back. Fighting all through yellow's base. Red. Red's been very content just to use MiGs, rely on MiGs for this game. Sort of massive numbers of tanks, but just not engaging. Perhaps perhaps to even it out a little bit, but also I could just be speculating. Game is winding down. Green airstrike inbound. After the gap. Must have targeted that while teal was still in there. Um, okay, yeah. So perhaps that's what red was waiting for because now that this has been seen, look at every single MiG he's got, and he manages to get it. I believe that engineer was maybe about to be thrown in there to try and repair. Okay, yellow's managed to hold on, but he has lost his MCV. And yeah, I hesitate to even count all of this, but if we say it's 5 per row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. So he's nearly got 40 MiGs there. And green's got these ones as well, say a dozen. So every building now loses is the last chance he had to lose it. Okay, moving in around the back again. He's never going to be able to rebuild these buildings, is what I was trying to say. Red just sending them in aimlessly, and Rocket's taking a few out now. Perhaps there's been asked to scout for Red. Well, Red scouting for themselves. Because it is Red's tanks and Red's MiGs. Although the MiG's not firing yet, just maybe waiting to see all of it. Although I think they now can. Unless he's doing Shift A, select all. But the MiG's still, yeah, no, I think he's just trying to group them together, maybe coordinate with green for something spectacular. So there we go. Green's on a war factory. Red's on the way back in. Refinery's gone. Everything's gone now. It is on destroy all. So I do believe that yellow is going to just have to be destroyed here. some harvesters here, some ships still here, so a little bit of work to do. A couple of infantry dotted around as well. Don't know that yellow would quit. I think yellow very much a non-quitter. So he's making Team 2 fight to the very end and earn their victory here. Just totally fine. Team 2 would have had the opportunity to notice the rules at the start and ask for destroy structures instead if that's what they wanted. There is still a pillbox there. Camo pillbox right in the middle on yellow health. But I believe that is the last structure. Green just getting some training in, taking out some structures on the island. Last of Yellow's army down here now is about to die. The MiG's now going after these harvesters. They've missed this infantry. Okay, interesting. Even though I thought Debo, Fat Tony has the GPS, team still some shroud on the map. I understand from gaps, but up here wasn't a gap. But they can see this infantry. I mean, it's in range of these cruisers. Like they can deal with that in 2 seconds if they want. That's probably the very last thing. Yeah, because we can see now this is the extent of Yellow's vision. Okay, no, there is a harvester over here. But there's nothing hiding over here. There's no navy hiding. Nothing up here. It is apparently just the 2 infantry and this harvester. Team 2, not particularly active in searching for them either. It has to be said. They can see all of it, so it should only take 30 seconds or so to locate what's left. The cruisers from earlier that dealt with these destroyers still firing where they were targeted. Yellow getting some helicopters now. This does seem to be an elaborate. Okay, Team 2 satellite is up, so maybe they lost it and only rebuilt it. But I thought I'd seen even 2. Yeah, 2. So I don't know what happened there. Okay, Green's now finally figured this one out. Targeted them all on the same thing. So he's not really done any damage to this, but there we go. Sorry, I realised I made a mistake with the GPS. I'd unclicked, so disregard that comment. Yeah, it's weird that there's here there is a gap, I think, or was a gap, but certainly there never was here around here, and definitely not on their own side. So go figure that out. So that's been dealt with. So I'm pretty sure this is the last thing. No one's looking particularly hard for it. Does look like they are just really, for whatever reason, getting very established here, getting very well prepared to contain this single harvester. Apparently, I am going to make you watch this through to the end and make myself commentate on it. Okay, so MiGs are airborne. Let's see where they're headed. We'll follow the MiGs. We'll just keep an eye on the harvester. So the MiGs are going to turn, so we'll get the mini-map back up so we can keep an eye on the harvester. So red, just maneuvering them around, just trying to group them together a little bit. Has strayed a little bit close to the AA cannon that's up here still. has lost control because it looks like they're about to land again. Um, no, he's still got them, caught them again before they've landed. Although now Teal has seen this. Yellow's responding, running away. Maybe enough to finish this off. Maybe running out of ammunition. No, but there's more choppers inbound now. Might stray in range of green here. Yeah, this should be enough now. Sure enough, out comes a civilian, because why not? Choppers now figured that out. And there we go. Fighting to the literal bitter end, the very last man, the poor civilian, poor Joe that comes out of the ore truck. Okay, we see the names on this one. The glitch has reversed, so we see the stats. As you can imagine, Whiskers with the lion's share of units killed, having to defend all of that. But yeah, I mean, 3 versus 1. Whiskers had the lowest amount of ore. Um, didn't really pay attention. I don't think that hamstrung him during the game, but he really never got enough production for that to be a problem either. And yeah, so good attempt. Likes to play those sort of challenge games occasionally, as I've done in the past too. And it is always an amazing feeling when you do come out on top. So I'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed. See you later.